let's talk about Nate Diaz. Okay,
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, arguably, in my opinion, was the star of the show.
Yeah,
he was the star of the show.
Yes,
he called
sir.
the shots. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Who can say, I'm going to fight 5-round fight, non-title fight? When does that ever happen? When does that ever happen? When does anybody ever fight a 5-round fight?
And then almost finish the fight in the 5th round. Like, that's the craziest.
5th round, and you know what? Had he just been on it right away, he could have finished them.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to tell you that Javi pointed at him for like 10 or 15 seconds. Then he loaded up his right hand for 10 or 15 seconds. He wasted 30 seconds. If he had just, what would it have taken for him to finish that fight, in your opinion?
If he would have swicked out the way you do it, it would have been over. It would have been done, over, finished, pop.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Nate would have been bigger than life. That made him more popular, believe it or not. He is more popular because he's a G. He brings it. And he didn't accept defeat, even though he gave it.
Yeah.
But he didn't accept.
I
he was
love
like
that.
In a street fight, it'd have been over, done.
He goes, he was sleepwalking.
He knows how to switch something into a positive. He's a master. Both him and his brothers, they're masters at switching the negative to positives and F the negative. I'm focused on the positive. Remember when he loses to Conor the second time around, his comment was, well, all I know is if that was me, I would have finished me. It was like, what? What did he just say? If that was me, I would have just finished me. Then I find out he had bruised ribs or broken ribs. He was implying that if he was as injured as he was, and if Conor went in with broken ribs, he would have finished him.
Yeah.
He might be right.
Yeah.
He might be right. I mean, he just kind of tells it the way it is, man. And you know, I love the way he handles the fans, and I love the way he respects the fans that respect him.
Yeah.
And he's becoming a master at with the fans. He really is. I watched the way he's talking. I watched everything he was doing. I said, man, this Nate Diaz, he's got it going on, man. He is really, really in tune with his fans, and he gives the fans what they want. I applaud him. For that. Yeah. You know, I do. Even though he fights with my guys, but he does it the correct way. You know, he's not attacking religion. He's not attacking family. He's attacking the fighters themselves.
Yeah.
Game on with that stuff. As long as they don't attack coaches are not game on. Anything else is fine. Hey, leave the coaches alone.
I agree with you. If he had to just went in there and just went like all or nothing and threw strikes, I'm wondering if maybe he just didn't know the time. He wasn't looking at the time up on the teleprompter, and maybe he thought he had more time than he had, and so he was trying to show off a little bit before he got the big knockout or whatever, and maybe then he ran out of time.
It's going to bother him, bro. It's going to bother him because he had it.
He had it for sure.
He had it. His brother's probably going to say, dude, why did you take the fool out? He was there. He was going to go out. I mean, boom, he's going to go out, you know. And listen, I thought Leon Edwards was too young, too good of a kickboxer, and I thought that he was going to be clean, and I didn't think that what happened was going to happen.
Yeah.
And had it been a 3-rounder, I didn't know it was going to be 5-rounder. I originally thought it was going to be a 3-rounder. When I heard it was a 5-rounder, then I kind of went, uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know, you already know Nate's going to be strong as hell in the 5th round.
Yeah.
I didn't know how Leon was going to be, and he was slightly tired.
Yeah.
Nate wasn't tired at all.
No.
Not at all. He was like, hey, let's go. You ain't hurt me. He hit him with some hella shots. Nate was not hurt at all.
No.
At all. Not at all. He got hit with good shots. Wasn't hurt.
No, he looked like a zombie. He was covered in blood, but he didn't show any sign of anything.
And then he got cut, you know, and he was cut during practice, during training, and he said it. And so it got cut again. So I mean, he's got so much scar tissue built around him that, you know, I'm sure he bleeds like a faucet, almost getting hit almost anywhere, you know, because he's been in so many wars. That guy, blood don't bother him.
I think maybe he had Fabia in his training camp, and Fabia was cutting him up and getting him used to it. And then so now when he got cut in the fight, he was just like, oh, this is no big deal. I'm used to it. I think that was a secret weapon.
Honestly, I think Fabia wouldn't last like 30 seconds with Nate. I think Nate expose him for who he is and smack the crap out of him and say, get the hell out of here. Nate knows real from real, man. He ain't playing.
The crazy thing with Nate, though, is like, we could sit here and say, and in any other circumstance, we can sit here and say, yeah, he could have got in there and finished it. Stupid mistake, and you know, what a big mistake, and you know, now he lost the fight and all that. We can say all this negative stuff because he could have finished it, but with Nate, you can't. Like Nate didn't finish it. He didn't win the fight. But you don't even care because in your mind, he still won the fight, kind of. Like he really kind of won the fight in your head still, and he won the people.
He still won the fight. He became more popular.
So it's like he didn't have to win. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, he became. So you know, people I mean, what's his record in the last 5 fights? What is his record?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. You got me. I really don't even know. It's been 2 years since he fought. He fought Masvidal. He lost that. I think that might have been the last one. So he's definitely lost the last one. He lost against Conor. He beat Conor.
He lost his last 3, and then he beat Conor before
that. I guess.
So he's like.
I guess 2-fight lose streak, now 3-fight. I guess.
3-fight lose.
Unless it's something I'm forgetting. Yeah.
That's not that bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Because look, and he's thrown great fights in the process.
But look what he did against someone who's arguably one of the best in the division. I mean, he held up strong and was going strong in the 5th round, and like he said, he was sleepwalking. If it had been a 6-round fight or a 7-round fight, we know what would happen. I mean, it would
or a street fight,
or a street fight. It would have been Nate, and that's all Nate cares about.
Remember, he said, "If it had been a street fight, it'd been over." It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have let him off. I mean, but that's what people love him. He don't care. He's like, hey, I mean, I think his next fight's going to be huge, and it's going to be huge.
Yeah, he's the type of guy that can win a fight or lose a fight. He's always going to gain more fans, no matter what, just because of how he is. And he's a dream guy to have on the podcast. I've been trying to get him on forever. I talked to Nick a while back. Nick and those guys want to come to Phuket, so they hit me up and we were talking about it. And I was like, man, you got to come on my podcast. But they're the hardest guys in the world. They're harder than your guys. Islam is the number one guy that people want to see on the podcast, and he's one of the hardest guys to get on there. Luckily, I got everybody else from Habib's crew on the podcast. At least I got him on there. But these guys are harder than those guys. I mean, they do not like. I mean, it wasn't like they don't want to be on there. They don't like me. We had great conversation. He wants to come to Phuket. We're gonna have a great time and all that. But they just don't like doing podcasts. And it wasn't rude. It wasn't
Nick's
like
always been that way, bro. Nick doesn't like it. I think he's got some kind of. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I just know that Nick avoids him.
I think he's probably been taken advantage, like all of us, by the media and taken out of context and clickbaited. And I think he probably just doesn't want that to happen again because that's something he can't control. And so he takes that big risk when he goes on a podcast.
Yeah, I can't say I'm friends with the guys. I know them. I like them. But I can't say I'm friends with the Diaz brothers. I'm not. I respect them, and we fought them on occasions. We've won. We've lost, and but I respect them, and they're stars. Straight up, they're stars. Whether you like them or you don't, they're stars, and you tune in to watch them. And I've tuned in to watch all of Nate's, I think, last 5 fights. Yeah. I've tuned in. I watched them, and I'll tune in the next one too because it'll be a great fight.